It's official. 98% of HR professionals are burnt out. 78% are thinking about leaving their job. 71% do not feel valued in their organization. This is a crisis. Hi, my name is Melissa DeWeese, and I am an efficiency finder in employee benefits. And today I want to talk about the Great Reshuffle. Wait. Don't click off just yet. It's not what you think. I know we're exhausted about hearing about the big quit, the Great Reshuffle, the Great Resignation. 98% of HR professionals are burnt out, and 80% are open to new opportunities and might be quitting. I think it's important that we go over this together, figure out why are HR professionals so frustrated, what can we do about it? So I'm going to go through some of the study information today and talk about what exactly HR professionals are saying. And at the end, I'm going to give my opinion on what we can do to help them feel heard, help support HR, make your business a better place to work, and with higher retention, higher employee engagement, employee satisfaction, and improve your bottom line as a result. So let's get to it. Quick disclaimer. I am not in SaaS sales. I am 100% independent consultant. I'm just here to help support my clients and make sure that they're finding the very best systems and tools and benefits to help serve their businesses. It may sound like at some point that I'm trying to sell you something, but I promise you I'm really not. I have nothing to really sell you in this presentation. It's just alarming information that I came across today. I want to make sure that you're aware of it. So let's get into it. First of all, your HR has been there for you and your employees throughout the Great Reshuffle, the pandemic, all of the legalities that have come up over the last couple of years, and they've covered your butt. They've been there for everyone else. And now they're tired. They're burnt out. With the Great Resignation, your HR people have been dealing with all of this high turnover, hiring people, replacing people, coming up with new job titles, coming up with new ways of recruiting, going through endless applications and resumes, vetting your top talent, helping keep the business moving forward in this tumultuous time. They're feeling undervalued, and quite frankly, I don't really blame them. Most HR people are dreading going to work. Have you ever felt that, where you've got a pit in your stomach? You don't want to do all of the hard things that are in front of you each and every day? I'm gonna read through and just briefly go over the highlights of this Forbes article. As I said before, 98% of HR professionals are burnt out in this new study. This new study is from WorkVivo. In the study, they surveyed 520 HR professionals in the United States and the UK on burnout in their HR department. And the results are concerning. They point out that your HR departments have dealt with a lot of stress and pressure and hard decisions over the last 2 years. Especially if you have a very empathetic HR person, which is what you want, by the way. They were prioritizing people's safety and really taking care in every decision and putting a lot of emotional care into every decision they were making for the employees and your business. It's official. HR professionals are finally burnt out. 98% of HR professionals have felt burnout at work in the past 6 months. Can you believe it? 98% of HR professionals feel burnt out and have felt burnt out in the last 6 months. 78% of HR professionals are open to leaving their job. 71% of HR professionals don't feel valued in your organization. HR are the unsung heroes of the Great Resignation, but who's looking after HR? 98% of HR professionals have felt burnout at work in the past 6 months. This new WorkVivo study has shown that the majority of HR professionals are now struggling with burnout, chronic fatigue at work. After helping people in their organizations to get through the pandemic and the Great Resignation, burnout is beginning to take hold. HR has been the unsung heroes throughout this entire pandemic. They have shouldered the burden and the stress of making very difficult decisions. Then on top of that, the Great Resignation comes around and they have to deal with high turnover, trying to find new key employees, top talent, keep those employees happy, do onboarding for your new employees, and figure out how to manage everyone online or in a remote work environment or in a hybrid model. I mean, these are big decisions for your business. 88% of HR professionals have dreaded work in the past 6 months. HR professionals are the gatekeepers of culture, the bridge between the employer and the employee. The recent study showed that 88% of HR professionals dread work in the past 6 months, telling us that our superhuman HR professionals are only human after all. 88% of HR professionals have dreaded work in the past 6 months. We really need to focus on exactly what we can do to make sure that your HR professionals hang in there and that you can provide them new resources, some light at the end of the tunnel. You really need to take the time to sit down with them and make sure that they understand that you are going to fully support them in any new technology, software, business management systems that will help them do their job to the best of their ability. They need you right now. 78% of HR professionals are open to leaving their jobs. The Great Resignation has now begun to permeate all levels of your organization, including those in HR. After a difficult 2 years, it's time to ask ourselves, who is looking after our HR people? Who's looking after HR? The business owner, the founder, the C-suite needs to have the HR's back. You need to go to your HR, let them know you're open to assessing new software, new technologies, new resources to help them manage this new hybrid work environment. Or if you're completely online, you definitely need to do this. The thing is that your HR people are looking to quit. What would happen if your HR person quits or gives you their 2 weeks today? What would that do for your business? What would that do for your time personally? Who would be picking up the slack? Who's going to be there for the new hires? Who's going to be there transitioning everyone into your benefits? Who's going to be there making sure all the proper paperwork is signed? Who's going to be there to make sure that your recruiting process doesn't stop completely? Who's going to be there to make sure that your payroll gets processed on time? Who's going to be there to manage your online teams? Who's going to be there to make sure that all of your employee engagement continues and that all of those meetings continue? You really need to take a step back and figure out exactly what your HR is responsible for and maybe what you could take off their plate, or maybe what systems and technologies you can put in place today or start putting in place to make your business more efficient and make the tasks for your HR person less tedious, making sure that you have consistencies in place and maybe some automation. We have lots of new technologies and softwares coming out every single day. We have the ability to offload perhaps some of these burdens that your HR person is taking on every day and help them with resources such as a new software. The question is, how did we get here? The Great Resignation. We had the pandemic, we had the Great Resignation. 2 in 5 people said they were less than happy in their jobs in 2021 and 2020. As we zoom past the second year anniversary of the beginning of the pandemic, the Great Resignation does not have any signs of slowing down. 60% of people plan to leave their jobs in 2022. 40% are less than happy in their jobs than they were last year. 1 in 3 report a negative workplace culture and environment. I have seen so many experts come out and say the great resignation is over. Stop talking about it. Stop worrying about it. No, it is not over. 60% of people plan to leave their jobs in 2022. That's not over. It's not over. 40% are less than happy than they were last year. Less happy. 40% are less happy than they were last year. Okay, that's 2022 numbers. This sounds like the same information we saw in 2021, but we're seeing the trend continue in 2020. 1 in 3 people report having a negative work environment. They're looking, your employees are looking, and your HR needs tools and resources to help them manage this snowball that is not slowing down. 97% of HR professionals have felt emotionally fatigued from work over the past year. The decline in workplace cultures in the onset of the pandemic and subsequent Great Recession led to more work for HR professionals, more stress, more resignations, harder recruitment. They carried the water for every organization. Now they are experiencing chronic fatigue and considering leaving their jobs. HR professionals have felt undervalued for years. Okay, this is not new. This has been cumulative. HR has felt undervalued for a long time. And this is the tipping point. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. This is what will lead your HR person that's been with you for years to leave and go somewhere else and find a better company culture and find someone that will give them resources so that they can do their job better. Especially your HR people that are really good, that are empathetic, that know what they're doing, and know your business inside and out. 29% of HR professionals feel valued in their organization. Only 29%. 83% of HR professionals say that office politics are disrupting the workplace. 1 in 2 HR professionals feel like their organization does not support HR. So that's 50%. And one thing I've noticed during my working life is that people who have a background in HR rarely make an appearance on company boards. If they do, it is generally post a corporate indiscretion or incident. So they're not in the boardroom. They're not in the C-suite, and they need to be. What's fueling the great resignation in HR? 26% of HR professionals say that they have resources they need to do their job. 73% of HR professionals say that they don't have the tools they need to carry out their jobs effectively. Again, maybe I sound like a broken record, but your HR people need a budget to spend on resources. They need to know that you have their back. Maybe you have some HR professionals that are afraid to ask, or they haven't taken the time to ask, or they feel uncomfortable asking. You as the manager, the C-suite, the founder, the owner need to have that difficult conversation and take the time to sit down with your HR. And again, we see some C-suites, some founders, some business owners shying away from the fluffy stuff, the emotional stuff, making sure they feel like they're pandering to their employees. No, you're not pandering. You are making sure that your employees are taken care of and that you have an empathetic person leading that charge. The employee experience is more important than you think. Your employees are driving revenue. Your employees are driving customer retention, client satisfaction, referrals, testimonials, all of those systems and processes you have in place to drive sales. I know a lot of business owners just look at performance in their sales department and maybe some in their marketing department, but looking at other areas, customer service, retention, account management, finding ways to measure results in every department that you have, including your HR. So of course, if you have high employee retention and you have a high success rate with finding key talent and retaining those employees, you are going to drive bottom line. You are going to increase your profits. If you're constantly hiring and firing employees, one, you're opening up yourself to more liability, more lawsuits, more paperwork, more disgruntled employees, and you are constantly training new people. It is not a good cycle to be on. Maintaining the employee experience is the first step to improving your company culture. Employee experience is more than a buzzword. It could be the most important factor in your company's success. Companies that take their people for granted will suffer an uninspiring workplace experience. If you work at a company that doesn't value your well-being, you risk an increase of depression by 300%. A study by MIT Sloan showed toxic company culture as a top predictor for employee turnover. It's never been more important to create a company culture where you get the best out of your people by amplifying the emotional connection they have to the business. Part of this is making sure that every department that you have knows exactly their purpose and how they're driving revenue and how they are driving towards the goals and values of your organization, and being sure you're repeating that. There's been some research that employees have to hear things 7 times before they start to recognize the importance of it and start internalizing that message. So you may feel like you've already done this, but have you done it 7 times? I don't know. Have you? Please like and subscribe. Make a comment down below. Let me know what part of the video you liked best. Also, please share it with someone that you believe will find it valuable. If you're an HR person, maybe reach out to me and I'll forward it to your C-suite. That could be an uncomfortable video to forward to your boss. Maybe we can find a way to get the information to them in a covert fashion and work together in a covert way to get the information across. If you want to have a conversation with me, I have a link down below. I ask that you complete a questionnaire first to make the most of our time together. I want to make sure that our time together on the phone is as impactful as possible. It'll probably take maybe 10 minutes to fill out. It's quite simple. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, please share this with someone that you think will find it valuable, and I look forward to seeing you next time.